You know, we often think of Theodore Roosevelt as this indestructible force of nature, the Rough Rider, the bull moose, who took a bullet to the chest and kept giving a speech. But there is a chapter of his life that almost no one talks about, a time when the wild nearly broke him. It was 1912, and Roosevelt had just lost his bid for a third term as president. He was restless, heartbroken, and looking for a way to prove he still had fire in his belly. So, what does a 55-year-old former president do? He decides to go to Brazil and map a river so dangerous and unknown that it was simply called the River of Doubt. He took his son, Kermit, and a legendary Brazilian explorer named Rondon, but they had no idea what they were actually walking into. From the moment they stepped into that jungle, it was a nightmare. We're talking about a place where the trees are so thick you never see the sun, and the river is filled with rapids that can smash a heavy dugout canoe into splinters in seconds. They were constantly losing their supplies, their food was rotting, and they were being stalked by indigenous tribes who had never seen a white man before, watching them from the shadows, arrows ready. But the real heart of this story is the toll it took on Roosevelt himself. This giant of a man, who seemed immortal to the American public, was reduced to a skeleton. He contracted malaria and got a horrific infection in his leg. He was burning up with fever, drifting in and out of consciousness, and it got so bad that he actually begged his son to leave him behind to die. He didn't want to be the reason the rest of the team didn't make it out. Imagine that, a former president of the United States, lying on a cot in the mud, prepared to take his own life just to save his crew. By the time they finally stumbled out of that jungle, Roosevelt had lost 50 pounds and his health was permanently ruined. He made it home, and he proved the river existed, but he was never the same man again. Candice Millard writes this story in a way that makes you feel the humidity and the desperation. It's not just a history book, it's a study of what happens when a man's pride meets a force of nature that doesn't care who he is. It's a haunting, incredible story of survival that makes you realize just how thin the line is between being a hero and being a memory.